Before we get started, I need to start this video by saying I do not normally make content that targets specific people. I don't normally include names of creators in my videos, but instead talk about certain types of behavior that I feel is harmful and shouldn't be copied. I can often be quoted saying I don't target people, I target problems. So with that said, you are probably wondering why I've decided to make this video in this style. Why I'm not choosing to produce this video in my usual style by leaving all names out of it and just addressing the behavior that I personally think is wrong. There are a couple of reasons why I've chosen to leave my comfort zone of content specifically for this video. The first being I will only be discussing Amberlynn's toxic behavior and addressing a personality trait she displays that I don't see others cover all that much. I'd like to see it addressed, and I guess I'm tired of waiting for someone else to point it out and really go into depth about it. I will not be discussing Amber's weight, looks. I will not be toxic towards her in any way. So if you clicked on this video looking for that, I'm sorry, this is not the video for you. You are welcome to stay and hear my personal observations of Amberlynn Reid, of course, but I personally have no desire of addressing things that don't matter. The second reason I've chosen to create this video in this style is that I personally had someone very much like Amberlynn Reid in my life as a friend for years. I have first-hand experience with a person like Amberlynn, and I believe I have a slightly different view of who Amber is because of that. A person like Amber is scary to me because, like Becky, I've been victimized by a similar personality in the past, and I think I can put a unique light on the situation. For these reasons, I've decided to produce this video in hopes not to call Amberlynn out for her behavior, but to hopefully help someone else out there in a similar situation open their eyes, know they're not alone, and they can leave that person because no one deserves to feel their worth is valued by how well they manage somebody else's problems. So without further delay, let's get into the video. I know in the last couple of years there has been a lot of spotlight on Amberlynn as an internet personality. While some will definitely disagree with me calling her a personality, as many reaction channels criticize her for not having a personality at all, Amberlynn has gotten her fair share of opinions on everything she does, from her diet to her taste in clothing. And you really only see a few channels address what's actually important, and that's her behavior and how she treats other people. While I agree that she can choose to treat her body however she wants, and her health is nobody's business but her own, I also believe that if you put it on the internet, it's out there for others to have an opinion on. Now, because she chooses to publicly show the world how poorly she behaves, and how she has absolutely no idea how to treat others, I also believe that is free game to talk about. That is exactly where I take issue with her and her content. You see, I strongly believe Amberlynn views herself as this lost soul that couldn't possibly be understood. This unfortunate individual that has been given these horrible circumstances to overcome, yet try as she might, there is no escape. This victim of every situation, and no one suffers more than her. Amberlynn sees herself as the ultimate misunderstood artist, whose work will never be pieced together until after she's gone. She sees herself as the victim who hurts in silence, where no one can see her turmoil. And when she is no longer with us, that is when people will open their eyes and see her for the genius she truly is. Amberlynn thinks her thoughts are deeper than anyone else's, that no one is asking the big questions except her. Her mind is truly open, seeing with a third eye, things no one else can understand, because no one is like her. She is an unsolvable puzzle. Even if you had all the pieces, you couldn't possibly be smart enough to put them all together. No, only someone as smart as her would be able to complete something like that. And there is no one like her. She is the most unique person there is. Her story of pain made her into a person like no other. Her story is as tragic as it comes, or at least as tragic as she can make it. We all know Amber doesn't mind adding on extra details, but an artist's job is to tell a story, I suppose. So what if every single sentence isn't true. It's how she feels. So doesn't that count for something? After all, she's an empath. She feels everything in the room. If you're sad, she'll start crying. Because everything is about attention, good or bad, it doesn't matter. As long as it's about her, and not you. Now I know you're thinking that's a long-winded way of calling someone a narcissist, but I wanted to make sure I was showcasing Amberlynn's personality traits properly. Because I've been friends with a person just like Amber, and I know from personal experience, it's these things about themselves that they take pride in. They think these are their best traits. And it's amazing how they sell toxicity as beneficial. And yes, I know, I am not the first person to call Amberlynn a narcissist. Basically, everyone knows she has no issue hurting others mentally and emotionally for her own gain and benefit. Anyone that even knows the basics about this woman knows that much. But the point I'm trying to drive home is that while Amber is hurting you and treating you poorly, she wants you to tell her that you're sorry, that you're the problem and it's your fault. She wants you to feel responsible for why she has to treat you this way. She gets joy out of treating others harshly. And because she's the only victim, if you tell her no, she'll cry, get upset. Because being able to mistreat others is the only thing bringing her joy, so why won't you let her do it? Reaction channels upset her because they hold her accountable, and rightfully so. The way she chooses to treat other people. She claims to love one day and not the next. And it all depends on whether she views them as worthy of her love in the moment. Her affection is like a boomerang flying out of sight, then smashing into the back of your head just when you think it was lost for good this time. Did you measure up today? Are you worthy of her love? No one loves as deeply as Amberlynn does her partners. Her love language is gift-giving. Those are her words, not mine. When you do everything she asks, you get a gift from her with pride. But to fall out of good graces means trouble in paradise. Having someone like Amberlynn Reid in your life will drain every amount of energy from you. Simply trying to please them is impossible, and you shouldn't be held responsible for pleasing anyone but yourself in life. When someone makes it your fault that they become unhappy or sad, that's extremely toxic and isn't limited to Amber. Others are out there, I know. I've experienced them, and it's a very hard thing to escape. You are so convinced you will be a bad friend if you stop supporting them, or you stop doing everything they ask. They convince you it's your fault if something bad happens to them, whether you are there or not. If they even so much as have a bad day, it becomes your fault and your problem to fix. Slowly, and without even noticing who you are, what you care about, how you felt, it all disappears. You haven't even time for that stuff anymore. You had to focus on them and how much attention they need. In Amberlynn's case, she doesn't just demand your every waking moment, but every moment you are asleep as well, because whether you are her partner or not anymore, you'll still have to share a bed with her. Because that's what's good for her. That's what she needs. Until you are replaced, of course, with the next love of her life. But please do not feel worthless because someone has taken your place. Feel sorry for the next victim of the cycle while you run away from that very dark place. Leaving the darkness of someone's shadow is scary. Trust me, I know how that feels. Always wondering if they'll try and drag you back. If you have a choice, if they do. Whether you should fight it or not, or even if it's worth being free. The answer is always yes. Keep moving forward. No one that toxic deserves you. Believe me, please. Amberlynn will never change. Wearing whatever mask suits the situation. From day to day. Control, manipulation, demanding, and so much more. All masked by her fabricated self-image of love, nurturing, kindness. Lest we forget, she's an empath after all. Why would someone who sees no flaws within themselves ever put an effort into changing a narrative that pays the bills and keeps them in a relationship with someone willing to fall at their feet on command? While the formula is wrong, she reaps the benefits of the correct answer. So why change? Becky is among the lucky ones. I know she may not see it that way right now, but every day she is away from Amber is another day of freedom. No one said freedom was free and didn't come at a price. The cost of supporting yourself and existing because you choose to move on, not because someone allows it. Amberlynn views herself as the perfect victim, able to change the narrative if it suits her story better, and to claim others are being fake when what they are saying put her in a bad light. Amber will never see herself as an aggressor. If she has to tell a story with the roles reversed to make it so she is the victim, she can come to terms with that. Those are necessary measures to maintain her image. Amber is so obsessed with first days, first tries, first steps, because getting started is the easy part of any journey. Sticking to it is the hard part. Amber will announce day one of a journey until she's blue in the face, because as long as it's the beginning, it's impossible to have failed. Zero effort is ever given, because reaching the goal was never the intention. It was pretty journals and lists and posters with stickers and sketches. Because Amberlynn wants the aesthetic of being an artist without the investment of time and devotion. The more she thinks she is seen as a misunderstood artist, slowly fading, screaming for help, but no one can hear her, the more valid she feels, constantly putting others down, saying it's harmless shade, and people know how to take you, but fragile as a flower herself, unable to accept even the smallest amount of disapproval, because God forbid someone tell her she can't act a certain way. Of course, her feelings are the ones that are hurt. She was having fun. How dare you stop her? Even once you think you are free from people like Amberlynn, they have a way of creeping back in when they want to hurt you again. Even if it's years of no contact, if she's bored one night, she may decide to accuse you of a horrible act of violence. And no, that isn't just Amberlynn, because that also happened to me. I assure you it was messy and scary, but you don't comply, you don't go back, because they threaten you with that lie. You call them out on their nonsense. You tell the truth and hope people don't buy into the narcissists as they cry. And with all that said, I hope if you are struggling with someone out there like Amberlynn, and just like my friend, that your eyes come open today, that you start your fight. Don't lose another day of your life. Thank you for watching this very different video from me. I know it's not the content you know, and it's not the content that you love, but a video I felt I really needed to make. I stand with the real victims out there that just need someone to support their decision to finally leave and take their life back. Today is the day. I don't promise it'll be easy, but I do promise it'll be worth it. As always, guys, have a wonderful day, and I will see you all next time. I know in the last couple years there has been a lot of spotlight